The Retro Fighters Mantis featured in today's review is provided courtesy of Retro Fighters. Retro Fighters is taking it more modern with their release of the Mantis wireless gamepad for the PlayStation 4. This new controller offers every feature found on a DualShock 4, plus dual programmable buttons and trigger stops, and packages it into a miniature form factor. After a week of using the Mantis, it holds its own against Sony's first-party offering. The Mantis comes in a compact box. The front features a glossy life-size depiction of the controller along with the Mantis branding and compatible systems. On the side, a miniature representation of the Mantis is included for displaying the box on a shelf. On the back is a nice description of the Mantis and several key features. Opening the box, you'll find the Mantis, USB-C cable, and a quick start guide. The Mantis is a compact device with its thickest points on its handles being roughly 1 1/4 inches thick and its main body roughly 7/8 inches thick. It has a nearly 6-inch length and a 3 1/4 inch height. Despite this smaller stature, the Mantis manages to have a nice ergonomic shape that fits well even into my bigger hands. Each handle has nicely textured plastic to further help with grip. The rear programmable buttons also line up nicely with your fingers while being held and have a nice click when pressed. The programming button sits atop the controller next to its USB-C charging port and power button. There is also a switch on the back for conveniently swapping the controller between direct input and X input modes. The clear color of the shell offset by the grays of the buttons and sticks is very aesthetically pleasing. Retro Fighters also offers a PS1 inspired color that likewise looks fantastic. The plastic in use is thick and the controller feels very dense thanks to the weight provided by the internal battery and dual rumble motors. Pressure and twist tests have shown the Mantis is ready to take on a good level of abuse without faltering. As previously mentioned, the Mantis includes everything needed for a full PlayStation 4 experience. The 4 face buttons are a good size and bear stylized PlayStation labels. They have a good feel to them but can be loud when quickly pressed. The D-pad has good rollability and I like the look of its gray glossy surface. Thumbsticks are thankfully fully sized and include an anti-friction ring to give them smooth rotations. Resistance on each stick feels great and the thumb caps provide adequate grip during play. L3 and R3 stick clicks also feel superb. The touchpad on the front of the pad is much smaller than the one found on Sony's DualShock 4. It has a good texture and its button press works well. A light bar surrounds the pad on 3 sides and is nice and bright while in use. Options, share, and home buttons have good placement and feel good to press. The built-in speakers have nicely angled cutouts at the center of the controller that lend themselves well to the overall aesthetic. L1 and R1 have a good length and size, making them easy to use. They feel good to press, but may come across as more spongy when compared to other Retro Fighters controllers. L2 and R2 likewise have a good shape and size that feel perfect while in use. The resistance on each is excellent and their shorter physical throw range makes them ideal for rapid presses. To further increase their speed, trigger stops can be activated to cut the range in half. The stops work well, but if using too much force, they will have some give. Because Retro Fighters packs so many features into the Mantis, it should be 100% compatible with the entire PS4 library. And across my modest selection of PS4 games that make use of motion sensors, touchpad, or speaker, all work just as expected. Motion controls feel the same as a DualShock 4 in my titles, so anyone that makes heavy use of the feature should be pleased by what the Mantis has to offer. The touchpad likewise has multi-touch functionality, and despite its smaller size, is easy to use during play. Unfortunately, the built-in speaker has lower quality compared to a DualShock 4, so games that make use of it constantly won't sound as good. I've enjoyed the feel of the Mantis overall, but I find it harder to use on shooters thanks to its reduced handle size. I play a claw grip, so the angle I prefer to use isn't the greatest with smaller handles. I can adjust my grip angle to better fit the controller, but it isn't the best for ergonomics. For other genres, I have had no issues, and long gameplay sessions have shown the Mantis remains comfortable the whole time. Every button is easily reachable and has responded perfectly in games. Programming the 2 rear buttons is also a breeze, and any face, shoulder, or D-pad input can be selected. I have yet to notice any latency issues during play, and everything has felt in line with my DualShock 4 during comparisons. The Mantis makes use of Hall effect sensors, ensuring sticks have good reliability during use. My Mantis did unfortunately have an initial problem when clicking in L3 and R3 that would reduce the input range. By using the stick calibration macro found in the manual, this has been completely remedied. Ranges have felt good, with no noticeable issues with shortened cardinal or diagonal inputs. Dead zones have not been a concern, and light movements register perfectly. Thanks to the anti-friction rings, every full movement has also felt smooth. Trigger ranges have been perfect, and the resistance on them allows for easy fine-tuning when a game calls for it. The Mantis' D-pad has worked well in both light and heavy usage. In Apex, I'm easily able to pull off a medkit or shield bat when needed. In Tony Hawk or fighting games, I could pull off casual combos without issues. The pad feels like it registers diagonals more easily than cardinal directions when being sloppily pressed. but when I am careful with my inputs, I have never had a problem. The built-in battery gives me around 12 hours of play before needing to be recharged. A full charge takes around 2.5 hours. While I have spent the majority of my time with the Mantis on PlayStation 4 games across my PS4 Pro and PS5, it is also compatible with PC through Bluetooth and wired connections. Using the switch on the back, you can have the pad register with a PC as an Xbox controller, giving it full compatibility with modern titles. I have had no latency issues while using it with Bluetooth, and it is easy to get paired. It also works well on my Pixel 6 Pro in X input mode, giving me a nice compact controller for using my emulators while out and having some downtime. After a week of testing, I have very little to criticize about the Mantis. Its built-in speaker could have better quality, but it functions. I am not pleased that I had to recalibrate the sticks to prevent loss of range when clicking L3 or R3, but this is an issue that shouldn't affect most users. Even if it does happen, the functionality has been included for you to easily correct it. The Mantis is a compact and feature-rich PS4 controller that provides great results for any hand size. I may not like it as much for shooters, but the performance is there and other genres have been a blast. The inclusion of trigger stops and programmable buttons also provides more functionality than Sony's DualShock 4. If you love smaller controllers or are in the market for cheaper alternatives to the DualShock 4, the Mantis is a good buy at its $40 price tag. And those are my thoughts on the Retro Fighter Mantis, a nice little controller addition to the PS4 controller arsenal. Thank you again to Retro Fighters for sending this out my way, and thank you to all of you for watching today's review. I hope you have found it informative, and if you're interested in the Mantis, you can pick it up through the links in the description below to help support our channel and get you a pretty awesome little PS4 controller. But here at the end of the video, just the usual favors to ask. If you haven't already, thumbs up, thumbs down, depending on how much you like this review, as well as hit that sub button, notification bell, see when new videos come live on the channel, because there's always lots coming your way. And if that thought of supporting the channel sounded nice to you, also be sure to check out that join button here on YouTube or the Patreon link in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, as every little bit helps keep us going and bringing you content just like this well into the future. Big thank you to all of our current backers. You are incredible. Couldn't do it without you. But until next time, my wonderful internet peeps, you all stay awesome, keep on gaming, and we'll see you back next video.